5 Dragon Wall, 3-star water lavatory, wood carvings, ancient ivory fossil of the Yellow River. That sounds interesting. I'll start my pan to my immediate right, showing those cliff caves, if you will. Sand caves are better. And then I'll start at this end of town and just slowly scan. On the hills, I think you can make out the terracing. And there a pagoda coming into view. A big grinding wheel that's been worn away for some reason. The first place in town, a nice young man came out with a little bit of English. Anyway, the price for me is $30 if you went for the night, which is very reasonable, of course. But I told him I wanted to walk around a little bit first and then I'll come back. So I can go look and see what other options there may be. I've seen people hauling around today. It's like a powdered form of coal or a slurry. It's hardened up a bit. Dumped here in a wet pile and dried out somewhat. So I'm at the pagoda end of town. It looks like not much beyond here but farming and maybe a house there. So closer to the pagoda, I've doubled back in direction. I want to get down to that lower area there. So right-hand ramp takes me back up to where I just was, and I'll go to my left in the opposite direction to go down to that lower part. If nobody assaults me for a room, I'll come back up and see what this young gentleman had. Incidentally, 30 yuan's about $5 and something. Actually, it's less than $5. You can see the intersection here. We'll go down a little bit farther. This is the Farmer Joy alley. So not having been approached again, I'll go back up here and take this man's offer if the room looks acceptable. Some piece of carved rock now used as a paving stone, but here they've made this a little bit easier, and also probably for drainage. As usual, I find the weathered work in these old temples to be most interesting. If for no other reason, it feels more authentic to me than that which is freshly painted. I'm guessing this in the middle is the phoenix bird, and on either side, Buddha's and Hindus revered elephants. Either these are since the Cultural Revolution or somehow escaped it. Funky old arched doorway. Looks like they filled or applied something on top of the earlier inscription up there. And then whatever they applied on there either wore off or fell off. I always get a kick out of old wooden doors. Wondering what they'd be like when they were new. And what life was like when they were new. Notice to the side of the door, these rings for tying up your livestock. And beneath the facade of brick is just regular wood posts, not even finished off as the primary, probably roof and floor supports. This is pretty and relatively new. These doors give us an idea of what those other doors might have looked like. And here was some kind of metal, maybe brass, I don't know. Hardware. And on these pedestals probably stood lions, gone for some reason. And who knows what the Olympic-like symbol is for. For those of you who are wondering, we're still on Farmer Joy's road. Finding a door inscription might be difficult, like seeing my first kangaroo. It may be that these are the carvings they're talking about. And on the inside, and these finials that are sticking out, way of wood, I think, 'cause that's why they're splitting. Probably very pretty when they were first carved. There's some kind of relief on the threshold stone. This is interesting, once held a design. Again, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be looking for. Calligraphy. The writing of Chinese symbols in itself is considered an art form. It can be done beautifully or not. But I'm not capable at this time of appreciating it. Here's a street that seems to be abandoned, although it's quite wide. I'll wander down just to look at it and then go back to the street I was walking on that I couldn't find a name for. These may be individual courtyard homes, I assume they are. The last one I didn't go too deeply into because I could hear pots and pans. Whether this is abandoned or not, as an entrance at least, I don't know. But you can imagine it used to have some kind of design in those panels. Another alleyway off of this area. Now here's a central area. At one time might have been a courtyard. Definitely a person's home, so I will not intrude any deeper into that. Old grinding stone. Another broken one over there. In an area like this, those would have been critical tools that got their work out. Taking a considerable detour off of my original path to follow this alleyway, which will probably just lead me out to another street that I can use. Really big dogs are kept in iron cages like that one right here. This is taking me back near that pagoda, but closer into the farm area, obviously. I don't know, but this walkway in between all the stones. I've seen this before in other countries too. It occurred to me a few moments ago, how many stone sidewalks and roadways have I walked down in the world? Very interesting. No surprise, the durability of rock makes it the prime building material that's very inexpensive. This pagoda is a corner of this primary school. Probably this had some other function like a temple back in a time when all was more active. And the poor ladies at the gate there have their wares to sell, and very few tourists now to sell them to. The big burst of tourism ended last week, ended a few days ago for that matter. Don't know if I can climb up, but we'll see. Kind of doubt it. People can make offerings, but they can't see anything to offer to. What I'm supposed to be on the lookout for here in this small town is engravings on the door lintels, on the front door lintels. I'm guessing the Yellow River's down there. So I'm going to see if I can't find a way to walk down there a little while.